Hello, a very good Monday morning to you all. On a lovely bright day, we had a whole lot of rain over the weekend, particularly Saturday. But today it's bright, it's brisk, but it's a lovely autumnal day. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a little bracelet. I've named it Melissa Ring Bracelet. We're going to be using two different sizes of jump rings. So I suppose it's a bit chainmail-like, but it's really straightforward to do. We've got three colours in the gold colourway and three colours in the silver colourway. We have a multi-buy offer and a discount on for you today. So your kit's going to make two bracelets each, and I think you can get multi-buy with a discount as well. So really straightforward and simple to make. During this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to turn a pin to make a double-ended connector. So you can do that with our round nose pliers, or you can do it with your step looper pliers as well if you prefer. In terms of tools, I'm going to be using some cutters for if I am going to be doing it with my round nose pliers, and then something to open my jump ring. So you can use a jump ring opener, or what I prefer to use, two flat nose or like chain nose pliers, and I can just open them up. So I'm going to be showing you how to open and close a jump ring properly and how to turn a loop. They're the techniques that we're going to be covering today to make these lovely bracelets. I'll give you a sneaky little peek down on the mat so you can see before I take you over to the Totally Beads website, and you can buy whatever you want to on the website. And if you want to get these kits, I'll show you how and where to find them. So you can see they're really pretty. They create a lovely linked look. You've got a nice fluidity to them, and you can make them in a mix of colours as well if you wanted to multi-buy them. So there are bracelets for you today. I'm going to say a quick good morning to you. Oh, here's my sound gone funny. Right, let me check my sound settings. It's not what we want. Bear with me.
Is this a little bit better? It's not a good start, is it? Please let me know. I'll just keep playing about with the sound settings until I get a thumbs up. So let me say hello to you all. Thank you for pointing that out for me. I really do need to know how to improve it. Is it better now? If I keep speaking, will someone just say, yeah, that's better? I don't know why. I've gone through maybe a slightly different link. Thanks, Jan. Okay, good morning. I'm Natalie. This is Totally Beads, and this is the Melissa Ring Bracelet. Good morning to Mina. Good morning to Rachel. She says she's in a Brighton Bury Bunny, sunny Barrow. That's just my voice. That's got nothing to do with the sound being muffled. I'm not going to say a sore throat. I'm just aware I've got a throat. When you're at that stage, my little one's got a bit of snuffles, back to school, all germs, and I'm aware I have a throat. Good morning to Camille. She says blue skies, lovely blue skies here. How are you all doing? Mina says her order is in already. Good morning to Lisa. Hello to Carol. Hello to Jan. She's wishing everybody a good morning from sunny Sudbury. Izzy's in as well. She says, I can't believe it's Monday again. Where is the time going? I don't know. I really don't know. This year has gone super fast. I love the autumn, but I mean, I'm getting requests at the moment. What do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? What can I get Frank for Christmas? And I'm just like, oh, I'm not ready. Yeah, I'm not ready. Good morning to Anastasia. Peace and love to you. She says it is 2 minutes past 5 and nice weather here. Good morning to Jan and Joanne in a bright and bright, well, they're not together, but good morning to Jan. Good morning to Joanne, who's in a bright and dry Coventry. She says Alicia's watching with her as well. Is that right? Is it Elsa? Elsa? Alicia? Butchering that beautiful name, aren't I? I do like that name, though. If you can tell me how to pronounce it, I'm going to name something. I'm going to name a make after that beautiful name. Good morning to everybody. Thank you for letting me know my sound is now better. Good morning to Rayati. How are you doing? Good morning to Sally. She says, lovely autumn morning here in Barnsley. Have a lovely day in Barnsley, Sally. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I do love the Barnsley accent. I can't do it, but I love it. Good morning to Elaine. Hello to Natalie, who's in Sweden. Good morning to you, my namesake. Camille saying we all have a throat. I know, but you forget you've got one unless it feels a bit niggly, doesn't it? I'm aware I've got a throat. Good morning to Kath. How you doing? My mum made me the loveliest Sunday lunch yesterday, so thank you again. I was feeling very tired after all those roast potatoes because I just kept going and going, but now I feel a lot more refreshed. I got it on the last try, did I? Okay, I'll go back and watch what I said. Right, so these are the beautiful bracelets. They are the Melissa ring bracelets. I'm using 2 sizes of jump ring for you. So inner diameter, I'll tell you the outer diameter as well. Inner diameter, I'm using the 10mm etched jump rings, that's ID, and I'm using 4mm diameter ID 4x1s, which are outer diameter 6x1. So I'm using 2 sizes of the jump rings, some beautifully etched ones, which are the larger. I'm using some eye pins, and I'm using a lovely mix of beads. And today I'm going to demo with a mix of beads all on the silver. So if you would like to go over to the website, I'll take you there now and I will show you our wonderful kits. Good morning to Shirley. I've got everyone in today all over the globe. Natalie says, I've been waiting for this live forever, it seems, so I can be here. Natalie, thank you so much for joining me. It is a pleasure to have your company. If you want to get your hands on these kits and use exactly the same things that I'm making here, head over to totallybeads.co.uk. This is our website where we ship worldwide. You can change your currency at the top of the page if you need to, and head into the video tutorial section. So we've got one here on the main page and one here, and we've got the drop down menu, learn to make jewelry, and you can go into that part here as well. Hopefully you can see that clearly. So click on whichever one you fancy, and it will take you through to all of our recent makes and all of our past makes as well. We've got some beautiful, beautiful makes for you, a real mix of techniques from seed beading, stitch beading, chain mail, just threading on components, wire work. Look at them, love them. So these are the Melissa ring bracelets today, and you can see our lovely colours. They are £5.99. I'm pretty sure that's enough to make 2 bracelets, and I'm making 8-inch bracelets up as well. I think the average size for a bracelet is about 7.5-inch bracelet, but I always like to make sure you've got plenty in there. They're really easy to extend or to make smaller, so you can make them to size to whatever fits you. So they are £5.99, but we also have a 2 for £10 offer. You don't have to get 2 of the same colour. So if you want the forest green, but you'd like the pure white as well, you can multi-buy on that. If you want one in the gold and you want one in the silver, you can multi-buy that way too. So I've got a forest green on the gold, a light purple on the silver, a powder blue on the silver, a pure white on the gold, a rose pink on the gold, and a silver dust on the silver colourway. All of our components, I'm sure, are nickel free, and they're really nice sturdy jump rings to use, and the etched ones are just beautiful. Having that etched marking on the jump ring, it just adds that extra twinkle to the metal, and it just looks really, really pretty under party lights, candlelight, daylight, whatever you're in, whatever the season. These bracelets are lovely. So I'll show you exactly what you get in your kit. Enough to make 2 bracelets. You're going to get your etched rings. If I hover over here, you can see how they look. So beautiful etched rings. These ones are in gold on the forest green. You're going to get your jump rings as well, which are just your plain non-etched jump rings. I'm using some eye pins. I'm using a 30mm eye pin today, which is 3 centimeters, a lobster clasp, which is 12mm, and some glass pearl rounds, which are 6mm in size. If you have a little scroll down, you can see individually what they are. So outer diameter on the etched rings is 12 by 1. Your One is 18 gauge, if you're wondering what gauge those wires are created with to make those jump rings. The other jump rings that I'm using, which are also gold plated to match your finished jewellery on this forest green colourway, is outer diameter 6x1. Again, 18 gauge is your 1mm. And then I'm using the same coloured eye pins and a lobster clasp, which is going to match all those colours. And then your pearls are 6mm. If you want to add any extras in, you absolutely can. So you could get some extra etched rings if you wanted. You're getting 30 pieces for just £1.50. We've got fabulous prices. I think we are very competitively priced, and you can do whatever you want with this. If you wanted to make something else, if you wanted to make earrings, I think earrings would be particularly lovely with this technique. If you wanted to make a necklace, I'm sure you probably could as well. You could make your own chain with that, and whatever you make, do share it if you can into our Totally Beads handmade group, because I would love to see, because I'm very nosy. So that one is the forest green. I'll whiz through them very quickly. We have a light purple on the silver, so you can have a closer inspection on how that looks. All the same size components, just a different colour bead and your different colour metal in this. So you can scroll down. Look how pretty and sparkly they are. Not only the etch, they're twisted. So I think these are made with a square wire, and then it is twisted, then formed into that lovely jump ring shape, and then I think it's etched afterwards. That's how I would go about making these. But you know what? For £1.50 for 30 pieces, I wouldn't make them. I would just buy them. They're already done for you. And honestly, the seam on how these close, I'll show you a closed one. I've opened them up in advance for the live, but I really struggle to see where the opening is on some of them because they're so perfectly closed when they do close. We have a powder blue as well, which is a lovely frosty, wintry colour. I'm loving my seasonal jewellery. I always love my seasonal jewellery. I think the forest green is just, it's autumn. It just screams autumn to me, but also be beautiful at Christmas. This one all year round, always the way when I see a lovely pure white colour, I think kind of weddings. So they are £5.99, which makes 2 bracelets, or you can get 2 for £10. I've got the lovely rose pink, which is a very soft colour. I'll show you them down on the mat because I don't think my camera did that justice. Really pretty. There you go. That's probably much more true to what the colour will be like. They're on the gold colourway. And lastly, but by no means least, we've got the silver dust on the silver as well, which is really, really pretty. So I'm going to do a mix today. I'm going to use all 3 colours of the silver colourways. So I'm going to be using the silver dust 6mm pearls. I'm going to be using the powder blue, and I'm going to use the light purple as well. In terms of your components of how many you usually use, I think I use 14 etched jump rings for an 8-inch bracelet, which is, I'm using that last etched jump ring to be my hook for my clasp. So let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so 14 etched rings, 13 pearls, 13 therefore eye pins. I'm not going to count the jump rings that are the 6x1. All of that's included in your kit. But a nice, simple, straightforward make. Doesn't take too long to do, and I think it's very, very effective. So let me see. If you've got any questions or comments, please let me know. Jan says, love these. They would look nice with gemstone beads. They absolutely would. I want to make sure that these are affordable. So by all means, if you have some beads in your stash, I'd still suggest you get the kit so you get everything else that you need, and you can make them with some gemstones. I am going to probably do one with some gemstones because I really love these bracelets. So I'm thinking like a kind of autumnal mix that I'm going to be playing about with. So very quickly back down on the mat, I'll show you them close up. This is your pure white. This one here is your beautiful light purple. We've got this lovely rose pink for you. This gorgeous, it's like an icy blue. It's powder blue, but absolutely gorgeous. Thanks, Rayati. She says these are pretty. Good morning, Heather. How are you doing? This is your just delightful forest green. Hope you're having a good day at work, Heather. I love the colour of these. I'm very much drawn to green at the moment. And then here you've got your kind of silvery silver dust 6mm pearls as well. So, how to make and what to do. I'm going to open a lot of my jump rings. I'm going to open all of my jump rings, I think, apart from one. So the one that I'm going to keep closed is this etched ring here. And you can see if I get really close how beautiful they are, how they sparkle. And I'm going to try and find the opening. Because it's etched and because it's there. It's there. Just there. So do this in good lighting so you can see what you're doing. In terms of opening and closing a jump ring, I'm going to take my jump ring, whether it be the larger etched one or the smaller 6x1 outer diameter. And when you get them out of your pack, you'll see they'll be slightly, well, quite often, they're staggered. You see how those two pieces don't fully align? So how this is made is you've got a 18 gauge or 1mm wire, and it's wrapped around and round and round and round and round a dowel, and then they are cut. So they've got a lovely flush cut to them, but they're usually slightly staggered. So whenever I open and close a jump ring, I give it a little close first, just to get those aligned. And then I will open it by giving it a little turn towards me. So I just twist. So I'm taking lots of the surface area of the jump ring between both of my pliers, and I'm keeping this one still in my less dominant hand, and all that moves is my dominant hand. So you can turn it away from you or towards you. I like to turn it towards me to open and away to close. Sometimes I take it, if I push it up here so you can see a bit better. There you go. Sometimes I push it slightly past the point where the two ends meet, and as I let go, it should spring back and it should find its kind of alignment. So those two parts now fuse perfectly together. I never want to open outwards because I don't want to distort that shape. We've got nice strong jump rings, and we want to make sure they're nicely closed so they're not going to catch and snag on anything. Sheila says they are so pretty with the etched rings. Izzy says, I need a lottery win. I want to make everything you do. Bless you. Prioritise. But yeah, I agree. I love everything I make. I like to make things that, even things that I think, oh, I wouldn't necessarily wear that. Someone loves it. Everybody's tastes are different, but I admit these are definitely a little bit of me. I do love these, and they're really comfortable to wear as well. So that's how to open and close a jump ring. Mina says, I've used these etched rings for simple helm weave and get so many comments, and she sold a few. Shirley says, my fingernails are getting very long and fancy. I've gone autumnal, but they're a little bit messy because I have painted them myself. So don't look too close. But I'm in all my autumnals today, and I've got my matchy. So that's how to open and close a jump ring. The etched ring will work just the same. Find the opening, position your pliers, give it a little turn towards you and a little turn away to close. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my jump rings, bar one. I'm going to keep one closed, so I want to make sure it's all fully closed on one. And I'm just going to set that to the side. And then I'm going to start making my pretty little beads on double-ended connectors. So I'm going to take my eye pin that's going to be in my kit. These are 30mm eye pins, so fairly small, but all I'm going to do is add one bead to them. So that's all I need. If I'm going to do it with my round nose pliers, I'm going to slide my bead on to the bottom so it falls towards that loop. I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to bend it horizontally to one side. The reason I'm bending first is when I then turn my loop will be positioned in the centre, so I've got loops running up on top and bottom of the bead. I'm going to take my cutters and I'm going to cut from the bend, leaving approximately 1 centimetre. So even though I've got small eye pins, I'm still not using it all. I'm then going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to position fairly small loop. So I'm going to position my pin towards the end of the tapered part of the plier, the smaller end of the plier, so away from the handle. I'm going to support the bead between my thumb and my finger, give it a little flick up, reposition my hand, and little rotations all the way around to turn that pin into a little loop. And I want to make sure that loop is fully closed. I also want to make sure that my loops are fairly centered. So if they're not, I'm just going to give a little twist either side. If you want to make a slightly bigger loop, which I don't think you need, you can just open it up. And if it's not quite centered, so if you need to adjust it, you can pop your round nose pliers back in and give it a little knock back and another close. So I've got 2 little loops either side of my pin. If I want to, then I can connect from both sides. Also, if I don't want to use my round nose pliers, I can use my looper tool. So this is going to show me how big the loop's going to be there. It's going to be a 2.25. And that's going to be fairly similar to this side here. They don't have to be exactly the same size on either side, but you want to make sure that you can fit them through your jump rings and your etched rings a little bit later on. So if I'm using my looper, I'm going to put my bead on, and again, just as before, it's going to fall towards the end of that loop. I'm going to place my pin in to the looper, and it's going to come towards that hole at the back, if you can see there. Now, because I've got quite a small pin, it's not going to go all the way through and stick out to the side like the longer pin would, but I'm still getting it lined up. So when I press my handle down on the pliers, that's going to turn that loop and cut that end off for me. I'm then going to reposition, so just slide the bead off my looper. And I've used most of the beads in this project. I have used my looper tool just to speed me up. I'm going to just close that over again and then knock it back to reposition. Again, if you want to make sure if that pin's slightly moved, just to kind of get them even on both sides, little rotate. So I've got 2 loops. So I'm going to make all my beads up first. For this make, because I'm doing a mix, I'm going to use 4 of the silver dust, 4 of the purples, and 4 of the blues. So I'll probably be using maybe one link smaller for this bracelet. Yolanda says they are all wonderful. I want them all. How long does it take for an order to come to the States? I'm really not too sure on that, Yolanda. I don't think it's too long. If there's anybody else who is in the US who's ordered from us before, maybe you could advise Yolanda, or you could check on the website. It should say estimated delivery time, but I think it's usually fairly quick, to be fair, given the fact it's going the other side of the world. But do have a little look on the website, Yolanda, because it will give you some shipping information there. Sheila says, I love my looper tool as I have very bad arthritis in my fingers. Do you know, I'm lucky. I don't really struggle with sore hands, even though I do make an awful lot. Sometimes I do get a little bit of an ache in this finger. Royati says I need that tool. I don't know if we've got any on the website at the moment, Royati, but you can buy them from various different places. All you need to be able to do is just squeeze the handle, and I'll still amend and fix my loop a little bit anyway. Sometimes you can put the pin in and kind of bend it back so it kind of turns it a little better. But all I need to do is be able to just squeeze that handle when I'm making lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of loops. Then they are ideal. Jan says they've all jumped into my basket. So I've got my beads ready on double-ended kind of connecting points now on my head pins. I'm going to start by taking my large etched ring, and I'm using that one closed. And then all I'm going to do is pick up 2 of my 6x1 outer diameter or 4x1 inner diameter jump rings. And I'm going to attach 2 of those on. Again, making sure it's fully closed. So I'm going to take my time with this. If you've opened them up already, then you can just pick them up off your mat quite easily without putting your pliers down and up and down. So just checking that it's lined up. If it clicks, then I find that sound very satisfying because I know they are perfectly closed. So I'm just attaching on 2 of my 6x1 outer diameter jump rings onto my etched ring. I'm going to pick up another of my etched rings, like so. And then I'm just going to slide that through one of the jump rings, one of the small jump rings. Then I'm going to pick up one of my pearls. So I'm going to go for this lovely powder blue one. And I'm sliding that onto that open etched ring. And then I'm going to take the other smaller jump ring. And I'm just going to slide that round to attach that on as well. So it's looking like this at the moment. I'm then going to take the other part of the bead, the connector, and I'm just going to position it so it slides through the top of the etched ring before I close it up. So this is going to be the part that hooks up onto my clasp at the end. So I don't need to have a pearl in between there. That is going to be this one here at the end. So when I attach my bracelet together, my lobster clasp is just going to hook into there. So just to repeat that pattern and to create my length now is all I need to do. I'm going to take a smaller jump ring and I'm going to place it one side of the loop on the bead and close that up. I'm going to take another jump ring, smaller one, and place that on the opposite side of that pin. So I've got a jump ring now through the etched jump ring sitting on either side of the pin. And then picking up another one of my etched rings, and I'm going to take it through one of the jump rings on one side, pick up my bead and slide my connecting point onto the etched ring, bringing up the other jump ring from the other side, and then lifting up the bead and bringing that ring, the etched ring, through the loop. Just knock it to the side, or if I swap over, so I've got, there you go, knock it to the side so I've got lots of purchase on that etched ring to close. Really straightforward, really easy make. Just keep going to get your size. So smaller jump ring onto one side of the pin and closing it up, making sure you give it a little wiggle. Just check as you go that you're closing up properly. Picking up another jump ring and attaching that onto the etched ring on the other side of the pin and closing that one up, and then taking another open etched ring, sliding it through one of the jump rings that we've just attached, adding on the loop from my pearl and then the other jump ring that sits on the other side of the pin, I'm just going to slide up to catch that one through the edge string, lift up the pearl, and just slide the other side of the loop from that other connecting point on the head pin onto the edge string too. Move it out the way just so I've got plenty of purchase to close up that edge string, and then that will make sure that as I'm putting my jump rings on either side, that those beads then sit in the middle. And you'll see it starts to grow pretty quickly. So jump ring one side of the pin through the edge string and closed. Another jump ring on the other side of the pin through the edge string and closed. Picking up an open edge string and sliding it through one of the jump rings, attaching on a pearl before we bring up the other jump ring from the other side, flipping the pearl upwards to catch that loop through the edged ring and closing up the edge string. I'm hoping this makes sense because it is super straightforward. I think sometimes when I've got things on my mat, the camera struggles to focus, but hopefully you can follow along and it's making sense. Smaller jump ring, one side of the pin, and closing up. Another jump ring is going to go the other side of the pin, and I'm going to close it up. Drop that down for you just so you can see what I mean by going the other side of the pin. So I have a jump ring here, the loop for the pin in the middle, and a jump ring there. I'm then going to pick up the edge string and just bring it through one side. So in this case, it's the jump ring on the right hand side. I'm going to take my pearl and slide the loop from my eye pin onto the edge string, and then the jump ring on the left side is also going to go onto the edge string. So now that pearl is kind of locked in between. Flip the pearl up, and I'm just going to catch the other loop on the pearl through the edge string and close the edge string over. Smaller jump ring, one side of the pin, and close. Another smaller jump ring on the other side of the pin, and close. Edge string through the right jump ring, pearl onto the edge string, left jump ring onto the edge string, pearl flip up, slide the loop through the edge string, and close the edge string. Natalie says, so both sides just one. Eye pin loop is not connecting to the jump ring loop. Let me go through it again. So I'm taking one of the smaller jump rings and I'm just hooking that through that last edge string that we've put on. It's not going through the loop in the eye pin, it's just going on to the edge string. But it's going to sit on one side. So it's going to be on the edge string, and then that last pearl is going to be through the edge string. Then my other jump ring is going to go on the opposite side. So I'm just going to go through the etched ring that's closed, but it's going to go on the opposite side of the pin. So it's not going through the loop on the pin at all. It's just going through that larger etched ring. Let's see if I can get this close enough for you to see it. When I pick up the next etched ring that's open, I'm not going through the etched ring now. I'm just going to go through that jump ring on one side, so on the right hand side. I'm then going to take my pearl, and the pearl's just sliding onto the etched ring. And then the jump ring on the left hand side, which is attached to the ring below, is also going to go onto the etched ring. So the pearl will then flip up, and the loop on the pearl will go through the etched ring. And then I'm going to close it. So the 6x1 outer diameter jump rings are going to end up linking through the etched ring below and above, but it's only the pearls and the links on the pearls that are going to go through both parts of the same etched ring. Does that make sense? I do hope it does. Camille says pretty nice colour combo. They look nice together, don't they? So I'm just going to keep going with that. Because I'm doing a mix of my colours, I'm just alternating between what I'm popping on. Your colourways that you choose is going to be one colour of the pearl, but enough to make 2 bracelets. If you want to multi-buy, you absolutely can. And you don't have to just multi-buy. So although it's on at the moment, and it is 2 for £10, you could get 4 for £20 as well if you wanted, or sport. There's no cap on that. Oh, thank you, Sheila. She says you're so good at explaining what you're doing. And Natalie says thank you. Now it's clicked. This is the joy of a video tutorial. I'm very much a visual learner, and I learn when I explain something. I mean, I spent a long time working in education teaching, and I think when I explain it to somebody, it goes in my head a little bit easier as well. But I'm very much a visual learner. I like to see what I'm doing. I can't just follow written instructions. And I mean, some of our kits come with PDFs, but to me, I think having a video tutorial is just so handy because you can go back and watch it whenever you want. So if I was to make another one of these in a couple of months, I'd probably watch my video tutorial back to remember what I did. And I just to kind of refresh myself. I do write myself instructions while I'm making it, and because obviously I'll make my samples and it might be like a week or a month or so many weeks afterwards that I actually come and do it on the live with you here, like today. So I'll often have like little written instructions that I'll make a note while I'm making my samples. But if I'm ever making anything in the future, I like to watch my video back. I've got the builder knocking on the door, and they're going to have to wait because I'm live and I've told them. So jump rings onto either side. Sorry if you can hear rat-a-tatting on the back. Jump rings onto the side. I'm then going to pick up my etched ring, and I'm going to slide that onto one of the jump rings. What colour was I working on next? I'm going to pop my pearl on. I'm going to add my other jump ring, and I'm going to slide it through. Yeah, it really does make up really, really fast. Royati says it makes up fast. It does. I mean, I'm hopefully not going too fast because I want to make sure that it's clear for you to be able to follow. But you get into a nice little rhythm with it. So just making sure that the smaller jump rings are on either side of the last pin that you've popped on. Ooh. Making sure that, do take your time enough to make sure that your jump rings are closed nicely. Hooking on through one. adding on your pearl and then bringing up the last jump ring on the other side and through the loop on the top. Sometimes if I put it, it will just spring off, so just sliding it through, or swap it to the other side where I've got thinner part of the plier, just to get enough grip onto it. Sheila says, sorry, I missed what colours you're using. I'm using all three of the colours on the silver colourways today, Sheila, for the demonstration. So I've got a silver dust 6mm pearl, I've got a light purple 6mm pearl, and I've got a powder blue as well. They're all 6mm. So they just fit nicely inside on those jump rings. Rachel says these are really pretty and sparkly. She's loving them. Thank you. You are welcome. Natalie says, Sheila, she is. I thought someone in the chat was going to explain, but my family is going to need to watch this tonight. I've got a private moment here. I'm hoping you're enjoying it. She's going to watch and pause. Watch and pause is a new mantra. Yeah, no, just... You can get rid of all the chit chat when you watch me back and just get to the bit that you need to watch. So again, I'm going to pop one jump ring through the etch string on one side of the pearl, and I'm going to close it up. I'm going to take my other open jump ring. That's why I like to open my jump rings beforehand. I just find it a little bit easier. I'm going to slide that through the etch string, but on the opposite side of the pin. So the pin is in the middle, and then I'm going to close that one over. I'm going to move those down just so I've got hold of it, pick up an open etch string and just slide that through one of the jump rings. But before I slide it through the next jump ring, I'm going to just pop my pearl on with my loop onto the etch string, and then slide the other jump ring on the other side up. Fingers all over the place. So now my pearl is in the middle. I'm going to slide that pearl up. So I'm going to catch that other loop on the other side, and I'm going to close that over. So those pieces are going to lock together. And then I'm just going to do it one more time for my last pearl, I think, for my size. So the last one will go jump ring onto one side and close. Jump ring through the etch string on the other side of the pin and close. Picking up an open etch string and catching the jump ring on the right, adding my loop of the pearl onto the etch string, so just let that dangle, and then bringing up the jump ring on the left. So that pushes the pearl into the middle. And then going to flip the pearl up, because I've made a double-ended connector, and slide it onto whichever side of the etch string I want to. You can push it right round. And then I'm going to close it up until I've got the length that I'm wanting to work with. Now to attach my clasp couldn't be any more straightforward. I'm going to take another one of my 6mm by 6x1 jump rings, and I'm going to put it on that one side of the pearl, just like I did before. I'm going to take another one, and I'm going to slide that onto the other side of the pin where the pearl is. Again, just like I have been doing, just going to give it a little wiggle to close. And then going to push those two jump rings up towards the top, so they're either side of my pearl. And I'm going to take another jump ring, and I'm just going to take the small jump ring through both of the other two small jump rings. And I'm going to take my lobster clasp and attach my lobster clasp on. And then close up my jump ring. And then my bracelet is complete. To fasten, I'm just going to use that first link that we started with, so that first jump ring, the etched ring without the pearl on, and I can just close up the lobster clasp around there. Joanne says, Natalie, Xander, Natalie, Kitty and Laura are all good at teaching us. Depends on the sort of make you're trying to achieve. Yeah, I mean, if you ever want to see a stitch beading project, watch Kitty. She's absolutely phenomenal. I'd say Laura's strength is definitely chainmail. She's just got such a knack for creating so many weaves. I'd like to think I'm a bit of an all-rounder, but wire work is what I absolutely love. But I'll be honest, I'm really loving my chainmail as well. So watch out, Laura. I'm not saying I'm coming for you because you're teaching me, but we all learn from each other. And you know, it's practice, isn't it? So if I was to practice as much stitch beading as Kitty did, then you never know, I might get a bit better at that. Sheila says beautiful. Jan says absolutely gorgeous make. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much. Yous are all being very complimentary. So that is my mixed colour bead of the Melissa ring bracelet, available on the Totally Beads website. If you head over to totallybeads.co.uk, if I can do that for you, I'll show you them again where you can get your kits today. totallybeads.co.uk is where you'll find us on the Tinterweb, and here we have, just before the drilling starts, all of our lovely bracelets. So head into the video tutorial section and you can see Melissa ring bracelet. We have it in forest green, light purple, powder blue, pure white, rose pink or silver dust. They're all £5.99. That's going to get you enough to make 2 bracelets, and we've got 2 for £10 offer as well. If you need to change your currency, head to the top of the page, click wherever you are in the world, whatever you're using, and you can see we'll change that for you as well. I don't know what the offer would be. It wouldn't be 2 for 10. It's still 2 for £10, but each bracelet kit there is $6.79. So that's going to make up to, if you want to see it in euros, let's head over to Germany. We go to Deutschland and you'll see it's €5.78, and that's going to make 2 up for you as well. So lots of beautiful colours, and if you are getting the 2 for 10, you can mix those pearls. You can mix those glass pearls, whatever colours you like. I think they're gonna, I mean, you could even link the metals. Oh, you could do a mixed metal one. Oh, I love a bit of mixed metals. I mean, right now on my wrist, I've got a gold bracelet and a silver bracelet. But if you were to mix them, you could do your etched rings in, say, the gold colour, and you could use the smaller jump rings in a different coloured metal and you could mix them, or you could alternate and use different coloured metals of the etched rings as well. Possibilities are pretty much endless. So mix your beads, mix your metals, but whatever you do, let me see what you've been doing, because I'm nosy and I love to see your makes. Thank you for all being with me today. You're all being very complimentary. Sheila says beautiful. Just Me says beautiful. Mina says gold rings with Christmas coloured pearls. Get the forest green colourway then, Mina. Maybe a green and red would look particularly nice. I mean, you could do it as a choker necklace as well. It would sit as a necklace, I suppose, if you wanted to add both of them together instead of making 2 bracelets. Well, if each bracelet made up is 8 inch, if you've got 2 in each kit, you've got, what, 16-inch necklace if you wanted to do it that way instead. Natalie says, so gorgeous. I need to make this when my order arrives. Thank you so much for explaining so well. You are so welcome. Thank you for being with me today. Wherever you're watching from, you're always appreciated. I hope you have a lovely day. I'm going to go because the drilling started and the banging on the door, and I'm getting cement. It's really exciting. I'm going to have walls. If you don't know what's going on, our house is having an extension, much needed renovations. So yeah, it's a bit chaotic. But I'm going to make myself a coffee. I'm going to see what the builders need. Probably make them a bacon butty or something. I've had an order of toast today. Apparently my toast is very good. And I'm going to carry on making this afternoon more samples for the future of future Totally Beads Mix. If you want to come back on Wednesday, I'm going to be here at 10 o'clock again, UK time. And I'm going to be making some necklaces. I've got lots of lovely colours. I'm using 2 sizes of pearls. I'm pretty confident I know what I'm doing on Wednesday. Usually I don't know what I'm doing next, but I do. Dare I say we've got some Christmas colours coming up as well. There's a red option. How often do I have a red option? Camille, I think you might like these. I think they're going to be your colourways. She does say, thank you, have a lovely day. And I'm going to echo that to you all. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful start to the week. Remember, these are the best days. Keep